So we're going to have a look at... I haven't seen this yet, guys, so I don't know... I'm not going in with any preconceptions, but DeOrio has covered the latest updates in the Ethan Klein Idubbbz lawsuit. There's actually Stephen A. Sarch has posted some updates too. And I think Kilo's got an update about the copyright lawsuits. So just a whole bunch of lawsuit updates and some Nick coverage to have a laugh at here. So let's start. Okay, let's see. What's he saying about the Idubbbz lawsuit though?
Today, but we have to talk about this because it was huge breaking news over the weekend. My understanding of this situation is that it was a misunderstanding. And it got emotional, but that's what I took from this.
Right.
So if you guys don't know,
just a little a little misunderstanding, just a little emotional misunderstanding. No, Ethan has laid out very clearly in one of his Instagram stories that there is a extra condition on top of an apology that he does not feel like has been fulfilled.
Announced a lawsuit against Idubbbz. He was going to sue him for the comments made in the Dragon stream talking about like the pulling up the Destiny comment talking about his kid, right? Like that was what the lawsuit was going to be. A lot of people, including myself, did not like that lawsuit, did not want to support that lawsuit, and inevitably Ethan, for one reason or another, decided to drop it. Or so we thought, that up to this point now, we thought that Ethan had dropped the lawsuit or had, I guess, dictated to his lawyers that they need to drop the lawsuit. And from there, we didn't hear anything for a while until this clip right here made people think, oh my God, Ethan's going to sue Idubbbz.
Yes, I do have important news. I'm going to try to be as candid about this as possible. I have my points written down in front of me. So here is the news. Here's the important news. Number one, Ethan Klein has not dropped the lawsuit.
This surprised the out of me, bro. When I heard this clip, I was confused as hell.
Number two, we've been actively dealing with it for the past couple of months. Number three, I'm bringing it up now because now we have court dates, basically. And so, you know, it's becoming a lot more real. I'm not particularly surprised, but I am disappointed. There really isn't much else I can say about the matter right now.
And that was basically it. Like, hey, I'm still being sued. I still can't crowdfund anything due to Canadian law. I'm like really scared right now, was his statement.
Because, you know.
Which again, valid.
It's legal. It's legal. So, yeah, we're going to keep pushing on. That doesn't change anything here.
Thank you for the $5,
for the rest of the stream, I am going to be doing.
Was it not real before? It's real now because publicly this lawsuit is ended, and then Idubbbz, at least as of July 31st, 2026, is implying that, like, no, we have court dates lined up. This is not over.
Where's
everyone
the
thinks it's
tweet?
over, so everyone stopped talking about it. So that seems to be the angle that he's approached it on. Again, I know a lot of stuff has happened. Please withhold. I'm going in chronological order. If you're like, no.
Guys, I'll defend Ethan in a minute,
Nick,
okay? I'll defend Ethan in a minute.
It's probably in here. If it's not, you can let me know. But we are going in chronological order.
Doing what we normally do. So yeah, that is it. I'm not going to be answering any questions in chat related to it. But there you go. I didn't even make you guys wait too long.
So initially seeing this, my brain went worst case scenario. Oh my God. And I think worst case scenario looks like this. Okay, did Ethan bait an apology so he could then continue suing Idubbbz and use the apology as an admission of guilt? Because that would be the worst case scenario. That might be the shiftiest, most evil thing you could possibly guess. All right, so that's where my head went initially, but all the stuff had happened, so I was...
George present this retarded, absurd counterexample. It's just so fucking annoying. So yeah, this is the update from Stephen A. Sarch. Minor update on the Ethan Klein / Idubbbz case from court records I've obtained. It's currently in action to dismiss from Ian and Anissa's lawyers, with a hearing set for August 18th. Ethan's law firm is Norton Rose Fulbright, one of the largest and richest law firms in the world. So, that, as far as, Ian and Anissa seem to be the ones bringing the action to dismiss, not Ethan.
Was going like clip to clip to clip to clip, finding out. That was my biggest worry. The second biggest worry is, oh, Ethan said he's going to drop it. Now is he adding in some sort of non-disclosure agreement? And I could have sworn he explicitly stated that he's not adding in anything like that or didn't want to do anything like that when he was responding to me. So I was like, oh, did he add in some sort of like agreement where he can never be like spoken about again by Idubbbz? Because that would be bad as well. So that's what I was thinking. Is this lawsuit still ongoing? Why is this lawsuit not dropped? And then the more sinister questions of, hey, is he trying to make sure that Idubbbz will never talk about him again? Is there a cash settlement that I'm not aware of that they're trying to get out of them that they don't want to be public? Or nuclear option, was that entire apology bait so that he could slam dunk the lawsuit case? Because I think that would be like fucking evil. That would be like an evil thing. So this thing progressed, more comments were made, Anissa started chiming in, but initially Ethan gave this statement, which didn't really convey
Nicholas DeOrio's
anything.
latest video.
Good.
Lex Luthor strikes again.
Anywho, let's do some goofs and gaffs and have a good old time.
I think a donation had come through.
Oh, I guess I'll just comment on this because I see Idubbbz said, I am not dropping the lawsuit. And, well, listen, it's a bunch of technical bullshit. It's just we're in negotiating the terms of the settlement still. And that's it. I don't know. It's what it is. You know what I mean? We're negotiating the terms of the it's a meeting.
So now Ethan came out and said we're negotiating terms of a settlement. And then the question is, wait.
So I'm just looking it up. I feel like, okay, so there's a few. So Anissa has said that it's not an NDA, that's just extra agreement. So there's a few things I feel like it could be. Now, my understanding is that if you lose or drop a defamation case that you've brought against someone in Canada, you're generally presumed liable for the cost. Are you assumed liable for defendant legal costs in Canada if you drop a defamation suit? Yeah, in Canada, if you discontinue a defamation lawsuit, you are not automatically assumed liable to pay defense legal costs, but the rules in most provinces establish a strong presumption or entitlement for the defendant to request those costs. So it could be that they're trying to have an agreement where they pay their own legal fees. That's possible. It could be a matter of determining whether it is being dropped with or without prejudice, but that doesn't seem quite right because Ethan is claiming that it's an agreement they've signed, but they haven't fulfilled a specific obligation. They are reneging on a specific obligation. So that doesn't seem like it would make sense. Yeah. But then, okay, so if parties negotiate a settlement, which might include a retraction apology or a financial agreement, they will sign a consent dismissal order rather than a notice of discontinuance. Yeah, so it feels like there's like several things it could be. But the point is, there is an extra clause, there is some extra agreement that some extra obligation that Ian has placed upon Ian and Anissa, that Ethan has placed upon Ian and Anissa, that he feels like they are not fulfilling. And any obligation that they need to fulfill past an apology makes his public statements a lie. It means he was lying, and it's just that simple.
If the lawsuit was being dropped in Canada, why is there a settlement? Why would there need to be a settlement? Wouldn't it just be dropped? As a layman who doesn't understand the law, that's what I think. I don't know if a person who does understand the law would come at that with a different angle. But my assumption is when he said, we're going to drop the law, I'm going to instruct my attorneys to drop the lawsuit, I thought it was being dropped right there and then. So to hear terms of settlement agreement, this also then kind of made me go, what? How does that factor into all of this? Doesn't really make any sense to me. So then Ethan then followed that up again. Idubbbz lawsuit, my one condition for totally dropping it is so laughably small and easy that you'll realize that what Ian and Anissa are doing is just for attention. I'm going to respect the Canadian legal system and not talk about the...
So identify the fact that there is now another condition past the apology that Ian already gave. Can you identify that, Nick? Let's see.
Negotiations, but if you knew what I asked for, you would laugh at how silly it is. The truth is, we've already signed an agreement, which they've reneged on, and they're trying to pull a fast one. So this hearing is just for a judge to decide if they upheld their side of the agreement. They didn't. I think that dialogue has just fallen apart here. So if
Okay, well, that's not the only thing, is it, Nick? Ethan is clearly stating here, there is an extra condition.
I understand this correctly, and it gets resolved here in some capacity eventually, and then Ian pulls back. So I think I'm correct. I believe there is something different or something, again, what is her quote here? Dicker's proving once again that he doesn't know how the law works, that you can't just drop a lawsuit like you can in America. And Anissa says you can, in fact, just drop a lawsuit here in Canada. I don't know the logistics of it. Might have something to do with damages or whatever the fuck. But I'm pretty sure if a lawsuit in Canada goes to X amount of time, I think it's like, I don't know if it's cordial. I think the procedure is that you put in like the settlement thing where they have to do like, how do I word this? I think that they have to come to an agreement of how it's settled, and then the judge determines whether it was settled properly. So if it's hypothetically as simple as Idubbbz' apology in text form that he gave on a YouTube channel, and the judge looks at that and goes, okay, it appears you have done what Ethan has asked for, then the case
Crimson
drops.
Desert's a great game.
I'm pretty sure that's the mechanic.
Korea.
The thing here that's probably the most important is that they both signed this agreement prior to Idubbbz' statement. So he probably knew this is what was happening, or he wasn't informed. Otherwise, I don't know why Idubbbz would issue a panic statement if they're just waiting for the ruling on the already in process settlement agreement. Now, I don't know what the terms of the settlement are, but like...
Okay, wait, one's back.
Idubbbz...
Thank you.
To come to an agreement of how it's settled, and then the judge determines whether it was settled properly. So if it's hypothetically as simple as Idubbbz' apology in text form that he gave on a YouTube channel, and the judge looks at that and goes, okay, it appears you have done what Ethan has asked for, then the case drops. I'm pretty sure that's the mechanic. The thing here that's probably the most important is that they both signed this agreement prior to Idubbbz' statement. So he probably knew this is what was happening, or he wasn't informed. Otherwise, I don't know why Idubbbz would issue a panic statement if they're just waiting for the ruling on the already in process settlement agreement. Now, I don't know what the terms of the settlement are, but like, if it's something that simple, I don't really think any of this is I think this is a huge nothing burger. I don't think any of this matters. If it's a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, or the lawsuits going forward. Obviously, we reassess as we go, because I would be against all of those things, to be clear. But if it's just something as simple as that, I don't really understand why this was such a huge topic over the weekend. And then this is the other one, I believe. Yeah, I grabbed it here, but we have it here as well. We have signed an agreement. We have a signed agreement in place to drop the lawsuit. It's already done. They completely reneged, and now a judge will decide if they've fulfilled it. If the judge thinks they did not fulfill it, then they have to, and it's over. If the judge thinks they did fulfill it, then it's over. The lawsuit is virtually over, no matter what the judge decides. They are being intentionally...
So, like, what critical thought here, Nick? A little bit of critical thought here, Nick. And truly... malicious or retarded, call it. Critical thought here. We've signed an agreement in place to drop the lawsuit. It's already done. They completely reneged. Idubbbz hasn't taken back his apology. That was the condition for dropping the lawsuit, was Idubbbz apologizes. He hasn't taken that back. So how have they reneged? There must be some other obligation, some further obligation than just dropping the lawsuit. Something Ethan didn't say when he was describing what would be required to drop the lawsuit in public, making Ethan... once again, a total fucking liar. Right, Nick?
To make people think it's still ongoing when it's basically already over. Again, this is an agreement that they've already signed, and it's over a matter that is for the good of sake of everyone involved. It is not an apology or a demand for money or anything. It's one tiny thing they've already signed and agreed to. So this is probably what Ethan should have said from the very beginning. Anissa was just like, what the fuck does that mean? Okay, I'm even confused by this one, what? And then immediately after, the following day, Idubbbz put out a statement, which makes me believe that either he's too scared to talk about it, which is a possibility, or this was probably just a misunderstanding.
Yesterday's announcement.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Announcement. There's been a lot of chatter online, so I did want to just clear up what seems like a misunderstanding.
I think that you were the one who started the dialogue.
That some people might have. Basically, in relation to the...
like, who's misunderstanding?
The Ethan lawsuit stuff. It is our application to enforce, and if the judge does not side with us, then the lawsuit continues.
It seems draconian to me that if it's as simple as like an apology, why the judge would need to judge the apology as like...
Wow, Nick. Yeah, it's almost like they're not judging the apology. It's almost like, as Ethan has said, there's some other obligation. You fucking idiot, sweeping, worthless, lying dipshit. Like, what do you even say? He's saying it's like a draconian issue with the Canadian legal system now, as opposed to just, there was another obligation.
Like, is it judging to be genuine, or is it judging just to make sure an apology has taken place, or whatever the... I guess we'll find out more information about the settlement when it's public, but...
That's basically the way to understand.
Listen, I'm not gonna go fucking nuclear on the end here.
The GOAT. Thank you for the $5.
There is
my
a
man.
chance that it's not gonna go down like the way that I think it is, so I'll acknowledge that is a possibility, and if that does happen, I will reemerge and talk about this again, okay? There's also a chance that Idubbbz sees multiple court dates in his future, and despite the fact that he has a lawyer, he's still not really understanding the process either. So he might see this as like, oh my god, Ethan's gonna turncoat on me.
Or it could be Ethan's lying.
We're gonna fucking he's gonna sue me using my own apology as an admission. Now, the only reason why I don't know if I don't think that is like a really solid contender for an argument is if they've already signed this agreement and they've already signed the settlement agreement and agreed to the terms in it, then he should probably know. But I don't know. Listen, it's not like a traffic ticket where you just hire a lawyer to go handle the entire thing for you, you know?
And that's like the simplest terms I could put it in. So that
Ethan asked him to condemn the faithful sheriff.
People can understand.
Again, I don't know the pros and cons. I didn't do all the fucking deep research on this, so I could be
This
wrong.
stream funny as hell.
In a case where I am wrong, I will be the first one to pop on stream
This
and
DeOrio
explain
guy,
to you
funny as
how
hell.
it's actually way fucking worse than I could possibly have imagined. But I don't know, man. It's very clear I've gotten very frustrated over the past few days. Yeah, it seems like a common issue for you. I'm sorry if my tweets have caused further confusion regarding what's going on behind the scenes. I am disappointed in myself. I sometimes have a deep compulsion to try to over-explain. This is the part that's like, I mean, if this is really as bad as the initial post made it out to be, I've never seen her say sorry ever. This is the first time I've ever seen her say sorry for anything. I don't know.
Nick just started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Nick, which would you prefer, Idubbbz divorce arc or CC2 fraud investigation?
I feel like one would lead to the other, personally. I think that either of those... don't you think if... Alright, CC2 fraud investigation, if that ever happened, I assume statute of limitations is long up. Whether there is or wasn't, I don't believe there'll be evidence found that there was. But to be clear, hypothetically, if they were to do that, I think it would probably lead to divorce. If they were being divorced, maybe that could lead to the investigation. I think those go hand in hand, personally. Yeah, it's not like a why not both, they'd be funny type thing. I literally do think one would cause the other, for sure. So yeah, Anissa said that. Even during an apology, she manages to not take the full responsibility. It was those charities at fault for CC2 and 3 being a dumpster fire. I need attention all the time. Keep in mind, all the tweets from earlier and yesterday were while Ian was streaming. An hour after he got off stream, she tweeted this. He probably told her to knock it off. Or better yet, the lawyer probably said, and again, I don't know this for a matter of fact, I'm not claiming I know what their legal teams are advising them to do, but maybe their lawyer was like, hey, jackass, if the judge has to determine anything in regards to your apology, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe you guys just wait and see how this court hearing goes. And if it's still going after the court hearing that you've already signed and agreed on, then you could go on Twitter and be like,
when Ethan's suing you, you just shut up, okay? His lawyers are going to use whatever they want against you, and that's what they get to do.
The lawsuit. I think that you've jumped the gun here and acted a bit preemptive. I'm expecting this lawsuit to end when the judge rules on that court document. If it doesn't, I'd be very surprised. And it seems like an interesting tactic to try to jump ahead of that and issue a statement that maybe could even negatively impact the judge's perception of the situation. Every legal team tells you not to talk about it on social media. Yeah, it's weird because Idubbbz seems like aware of this. That's why he doesn't say much, but he still issues a statement regardless. I don't know what lawyer would have told him that was a good idea. Even Ian was weaselly with his words. I don't think he really said much. I think speculation drove the ship on this. So again, I can't say this enough. It is possible that this thing goes fucking crazy and we're back at this like a week or 2 weeks from now talking about how Idubbbz is being sued by Ethan Klein. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think this is kind of a nothing burger. You could make the argument that Ethan lied when he said that that I'm telling my lawyer to drop the suit. You could argue that's technically a lie if there's still like conditions, but I don't know what the conditions are yet.
Dude, You could argue that's technically a lie, but I don't know what the conditions are yet. If there are conditions, past apologize. It's a lie. That fucking simple. It's literally that fucking simple, dude. It's just a lie.
I'm not sure what the conditions are in the settlement. But yeah, theoretically, there shouldn't be any conditions. The conditions should be the thing that's already been met verbally on social media. I agree with you there. Ultimately, I don't care if the lawsuit gets dropped and there's no non-disclosure agreement, there's no like NDA, there's no fucking cash settlement or something like that. As long as those things happen and the judge rules this is like fine or whatever and the case drops, I don't think any of this matters personally. What was this one? This is one of our other ones. Everybody just makes up whatever the fuck they want.
No, Ethan should. Honestly, I think, there's still criticism. Even, I think Ethan should pay their lawyer fees. I think Ethan straight up, even if this clause is simply we pay our own fees, fuck that. Fuck that. He should pay their fees.
Canada's legal system. Well, I'm not making it up. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. I don't think that you're probably not an expert on it either. Like, I'm not an expert on American law. I live here. Like, what have you done with the legal system? No, you cannot, you moron. Just shut up and let your lawyers deal with it. A plaintiff may wish to discontinue for various reasons. When the parties settle, the plaintiff will discontinue the lawsuit as part of a settlement agreement. Plaintiffs may also wish to discontinue when they realize that their chance of winning is not as good as they had hoped after discovery. Different requirements apply depending on the stage of the lawsuit when the plaintiff... And again, I don't know if this is accurate. I'm not here trying to give you the answers by reading random tweets and Reddit posts. This has been what's been conveyed to me from anybody that I've talked to about this, and I don't even know where. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't want to get egg on my face by telling you, oh, here it is, guys. It's Rule 2306. I don't know if that's the case. I have no fucking idea. I've seen many people post this. I'm worried you're dumb. The case was always going to end with a settlement here. It's my stance. I know you've trouble reading. I should summarize it for you. Yeah. So that was another piece of the puzzle. Anissa, you're settling to drop the lawsuit. If Ethan wants, he can go back on his word and sue you for everything you own, which isn't very much. I'd watch it or he's going to make... Okay, yeah. I forgot how stupid people are here. This is like an egregiously stupid tweet from Anissa. This is like a jacking off to the concept of Idubbbz and Anissa being homeless. This tweet is just like a don't quote that. Just block that person. Why would you?
Why? Who would ever do that?
Why would you say that? Lust doesn't know. I haven't seen what Lust has said, to be clear. To be honest, this is like my first time watching all this stuff full back. I saw like bits and pieces throughout the week. I just put it together for the docket and I covered it now. I've been busy all weekend. So yeah, even I'm confused by this one. What? I don't think he understands what's going on. I'm actually kind of shocked by this. Do you know what the thing is that he's referring to at all? Did you guys sign something related to discontinuance? You sign off when a cease and...
Wait, who's that, Nick? Who's that? Don't you think there's a video from this guy that you should be watching?
When a case is being dropped, when both parties are satisfied, it's not referring to an NDA. He's basically admitted it at this point. It's technically public record, so I can say, yes, he was/is looking for more than just Ian's public apology. So Anissa confirms directly that it's not an NDA. Like, it's not an NDA. It's not a... Like, okay, so then what is it? If it's not money, which she doesn't say definitively, but I doubt it's money, because why would it be money? And it's not an NDA. Like, what are we actually talking about here? Is he asking for Ian's play button? Like, what are we doing? What is the significance here? Additionally, if it's true that they've already signed the agreement, Anissa should know exactly what it is. Anissa shouldn't be playing stupid in this interaction if she knows.
1 minute, don't talk about it. Next minute, talk about it. Okay.
Knows full well what the sign. Well, unless she didn't even attend and has no idea what they signed off on. I don't know. I guess as a family, Idubbbz is the one who's supposed to sign off on it, right? He wants the content cop hat. Again, I don't think it's that either. If he wanted the play button, he would have.
It's literally she's literally saying here. She's only saying he's looking for more because he's already said it. He has already said that he's looking for more. It's already confirmed by Ethan. So she's saying it's technically public record, so I can say I'm not saying more than he said. That's what she's saying there. She's not playing dumb. She's saying she's not going to say more than what Ethan himself has said.
Like, we wouldn't be finding out like this, would we? If he wanted, like, the content cop uniform, Ethan probably would have put that in the message. Hey, listen, man, give me your play button and we're square. Like, that's the kind of thing that you braggadociously do on you.
Yeah, for real. Nick trying to not read out Kilo's name. Trying to not read out Kilo's name on the screen right now. Don't talk about the video. Don't talk about the video.
YouTube. You don't fucking silently put that in at the 11th hour, right? I'ma love it when I find out it's not talking about the kids. I don't think it's anything about not talking. I would be shocked. I would legitimately be fucking shocked. I would be shocked. Ethan would have said it was funny if it was petty. Why does Anissa get so much benefit of the doubt? We know what she's doing, framing Ethan hater, forming Ethan hate. Because they're in a lawsuit. You have to kind of consider Anissa's not a very intelligent person.
Dude, Stuart Lee bit, but it's about not knowing who you despise more. The Top Gear one, Stuart Lee Top Gear bit, but it's about you don't know who you despise more out of who would it be? It'd be like Ethan, Nick, and Dan or something like that. It's like how would it be? It would be like dude, I can't remember what he says. The shit about being stuck between two different forms of cowardice. Where he's I can't remember what he says about Richard Hammond, man. But that would be Nick anyway. Okay. There's like 3 people have seen that video in chat. Well, no, more than that I've shown it on stream, but there's like 10 people in chat that have seen that totally get what I mean here. And the rest have no clue. Someone's seen it, I'm sure.
Not all of it has to be malice. She can just be retarded sometimes. It's not gray. You're not like malicious or retarded. So I do have to like.
I can't pull up the clip. It's copyrighted. It's 14 minutes long. It's a 14-minute long bit that is copyrighted. I can't pull it up.
With some charitability, because I know if I was the one being sued, I would be all over the place. I wouldn't really be able to. If you put me in a position where like I'm under that much stress and I'm talking about this publicly, I probably would look this retarded. I could see that happening. She's a liar. I don't trust her. Blah 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 blah. I'm just trying to take this from a reasonable perspective here. Like this statement and this statement don't really add up. You know what I mean? Like, we have a signed agreement in place to drop the lawsuit. They have already signed and agreed to the terms, Anissa. You sign off when a case is being dropped when both parties are satisfied. The implication being that both parties were satisfied when they signed the document, based on Anissa's claim, so I don't really understand. Ian borrowed Ethan's screwdriver a few years ago. Ethan wants it back. Ian can't find it, and now the judge has to step.
So I don't. She doesn't really directly answer here whether Ian signed off on anything.
I mean, realistically, that's more likely, I think, than an NDA. Idubbbz elaborates on the lawsuit. I believe this is the clip we already saw. I grabbed an LSF thread to find a neutral fighting ground here.
A lot of chatter online, so I did want to just clear up what seems like a misunderstanding.
Where does the play button rumor come from? Oh, fucking Strawberry. That's a joke because Keemstar takes play buttons when he's suing people or getting sued by people. Like, his settlement negotiation is a play button in some cases. Like, I want X's play button in response. Yeah, like, that's typically how it goes.
Standing.
Yeah, it's like a Keem joke.
That some people might have.
Like, I think he, what is it? That guy owed him money. Austin McBroom. He has that guy's play button.
Basically, in relation to the
everything is just a reference back to one of his other old gay edads. You know, it's just like it always comes back to one of his other old gay edads.
Ethan lawsuit stuff.
I would be so shocked if this just doesn't end with a whimper. Judge signs off on it. We find out that it's literally fucking nothing. So Ian was just wrong, and everyone jumped down to Ethan's throat for nothing. Wonder why this post doesn't have 2,000 upvotes. From this statement, I'm fairly certain the issue here is Canadian law. If you're deep enough into law in Canada, you have to file a joint agreement from both sides to drop the case, because the courts want to guarantee the case won't be brought back up again. Even then, if the judge isn't convinced by your agreement, they will force the case to go forward. This lines up 100% with the IDUBBZ statement here. They're waiting on the judge to allow them to drop the case, and if they refuse, the case will have to go forward. From all of this, I'll say, I'd hate to have the deranged haters these guys have. Correct, the lawsuit has reached a point where it now needs to be either an agreement between Ian and Ethan, or Ethan needs to directly petition the court to drop the lawsuit. However, and this is why Idubbbz made the last video, prior to this point, Ethan could have just flatly dropped the lawsuit like he said he was going to do on the live stream, and under Ian's apology. That's significant then. The settlement negotiations are discussing adding terms along with the apology. Ethan said that he wanted an order to drop the case. Per Anissa, it's not an NDA, but it was deemed unacceptable. I don't know if it was deemed unacceptable. If they've already signed it, it wasn't deemed unacceptable. Pulling from Ethan's revealed settlement offer to Noah Sampson for the frivolous defamation lawsuit, it might be related to removing videos talking about Ethan. I think if that's the case, that would be stupid. I wouldn't be in favor of that either. Take down the content cop. Why? Why would you take down the content cop? Maybe the part about like the kids, but like even then, why? No, I don't support that. And that's a hypothetical. Unacceptable according to whom? This is the part that I just don't think is accurate. I think it was acceptable to them because they signed the agreement.
It'd be a very silly mistake for Ethan to take down that content. It'd be a very silly mistake for him to do that, wouldn't it? Not silencing criticism, not you know, try and muzzle someone. It'd be a very silly mistake.
All the available information, it sounds like the settlement was acceptable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed it, right? Is this going to be on the VOD tomorrow? No. Do you think I'm going to stay up all night to edit this for you so it can come out tomorrow morning? No, but it'll be a couple of days. If they signed it, it should be case closed. Again, everyone is saying this shit about the judge has to agree that they're not like jacking off the court's time or something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I didn't think about this. If it was earlier, they could have just flatly dropped the lawsuit. So I guess that's criticizable. If they signed it, they weren't forced to. So basically, if we don't want to, if we don't do what we agreed to do, then the lawsuit will continue. That's how I perceive it. Ethan sure thinks that Ian did what he agreed to do. This is still up, and he hasn't deleted the comment or anything. I don't remember all my comments online. I doubt you remember every... Guys, you don't understand. Ethan just forgot the message
this is like
he
you,
said when he was going to end the
You're looking in a mirror.
He just fucking forgot, bro. Actually, the opposite. Ian and Anissa are trying to enforce the original agreement that Ethan made publicly and then said it was met publicly under Ian's apology video. Ethan is attempting to get the court to hold Ian and Anissa to additional terms they didn't agree to. Well, they ultimately did agree because I signed.
You don't know that.
Why are you making things
you
up?
Don't know that.
Assuming they didn't make any additional agreements behind closed doors, it seems like they did. I think you're intentionally misunderstanding the situation. If we assume both agreed to additional behind-the-scenes terms, it suddenly is entered... Blah, 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 blah. I guess I should read this if it's back. If we assume they both agreed to additional behind-the-scenes terms, it suddenly, as they enter the stage where dropping the case becomes more difficult and contingent on the parties coming to a behind-the-scenes agreement, one of the two parties no longer agrees, then yes, the case would continue on. Hopefully, I didn't have to spell out to you why the idea they already made an additional agreement to drop the case that now suddenly is being reneged on is probably one of the silliest things I ever heard. If what you're saying happened, then this case would be dropped, and if Ethan is doing anything other than honoring his initial offer of dropping the case after Ian apologized, then he lied, full stop. I guess we'll just have to wait on what the judge is going to say. Well, yeah, basically. Well, no, we already know that Ethan lied because the thing that you suggested was insane, right? The idea that there's a secret agreement between them that Ian is suddenly going back on so he can spend money in court is ridiculous. Especially when Ian's claim is that he's attempting to get the court to uphold the public agreement that Ethan already said was fulfilled, and Ethan said there's one more thing that Ian isn't accepting. Neither of their statements are contradictory, to both pointing at Ethan being a liar. Additionally, Brony stopped worrying about the court of public opinion. Yeah, I don't know why he addressed this publicly. It's not even like he can crowdfund because of Canadian law. You can't really even crowdfund. So there's not really... It's just like kind of begging them to just drop the... That's the thing that I don't get here. They've already signed an agreement. They can't crowdfund. The only thing that Idubbbz can do is add public pressure on Ethan to drop the lawsuit, but it seems like we're past that. The agreement's already signed. It's already going to be viewed by a judge. I just don't understand, unless I'm missing
you
something.
Don't even know that.
Why Idubbbz said anything.
Why is he just filling in the gaps with Ethan's narrative? It's so crazy.
Anissa said anything. It's completely out of everyone's hands at this point. This is something you need to say, like, while it's happening.
So there's this creature named Nicholas DeOrio. He has this segment called The Ultimate Rape Reviews.
You know what I mean? They spoke up because he lied. Why wouldn't they speak up when he's, like, before they signed the thing? If he really lied and there's some insane fucking thing that they've added on to this and it's going to be crazy and you're going to lose your mind when you see it, why wouldn't they say anything before signing the document? Why would they say something when they're waiting for the judge to review it? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to renege this late in the game. But, yeah. Well, additionally... Here's a new clip. This is the clip that made me want to watch more fucking Empathy Enjoyer Jomha. So the end of this segment is going to be like a vintage Idubbbz fucking reaction segment. Anissa crushes Ian's spirit about having kids again.
Yeah, we literally do not give a fuck. Wow, so that's Nick's lawsuit coverage. Now we have got a lawsuit update, a copyright lawsuit update from Kilo. Let me just find this. So yeah, Nick's still doing everything he can to avoid making actual condemnations of Ethan. He's got 2 lawsuit updates here. So the first one is Ethan has now filed his appeal on the Denims lawsuit. Obviously, there's a bit of a question about whether he's actually going to go through this, but he has now filed the appeal. So that's going ahead. And then, update on the Frogan case. Frogan's team, as I predicted, is moving to file a motion to set aside the default judgment in a copyright case against Ethan Klein. Procedural filing today was a joint stipulation where the parties agreed to withdraw TEI's initial application for default judgment. This paves the way for Frogan's team to file for vacating the judgment, after which judge will determine whether Frogan gets another chance of fighting the case. The main things determining her continued defense are 1, a meritorious defense, and 2, culpable conduct contributing to the default. The first one is easy because Denim's already won against almost identical complaint. The second one is a bit harder for Frogan, but I think she has a fair shot. So Frogan case not totally over yet. So yeah, I guess still more to go.